Hollow Fall was the kind of town where nothing ever changed. The kind of place where people lived, worked, and died quietly. But that silence broke one autumn night, when they found Marianne Holt floating beneath the old mill bridge, her body wrapped in canvas, eyes wide open, staring at something no one else could see. They said it was an accident, but everyone in Hollow Fall knew better. Someone had killed her, and the river, it remembers. Her death report said, asphyxiation cause undetermined. But the bruises around her neck told another story. The story of a struggle. The mud around her was covered with footprints, 3 different sizes, and yet the official report said only one thing. No foul play suspected. No one wanted trouble, but trouble had already begun. Behind Hollow Fall's peaceful face were 3 men who held all its secrets. Victor Hale, the richest man in town who thought money was immunity. Carter, the deputy who wanted power more than justice. And Gaines, a contractor who believed cement could bury anything, even guilt. Marianne was their mistake. She had discovered the money they stole. Millions meant for the new river dam. And before she could speak, they made sure she never would. It wasn't supposed to be murder. Just a threat. Just fear. But fear is a living thing. It feeds. It twists. It takes control. They tied her hands. They argued. One push, one slip, a splash, and the river closed over her like a coffin lid. She didn't scream. She didn't fight. She just sank. Lila Holt didn't believe in peace, not when her sister's body was found like that. She stood at the edge of the river every dawn, whispering Marianne's name into the fog. But sometimes, when the wind shifted, the fog whispered back. It began small, a hum, a child's laugh in the dark, the scent of lilies in the dead of winter, a wet footprint on dry wood. Then one night, the humming turned into words, and those words carried Marianne's voice. Balance the ledger. Victor Hale was the first to feel her. He woke one night to the sound of his piano playing itself. 3 notes, over and over, like a heartbeat underwater. When he looked closer, he saw her reflection in the piano's glossy surface. Wet hair, open eyes, and behind her, the shape of the river. The next morning, his study smelled of lilies and rot. He burned the piano. It still played that night. Carter's nightmares came second. He'd wake gasping for air, his mouth tasting of silt. He'd hear footsteps, light, wet, like someone walking barefoot through the hallway. He tried to pray, but every time he said her name, the lights flickered and the sound of water filled his ears. He unplugged the phone one night, but the line still rang. He picked up, and her voice whispered, "You left me." Gaines had always laughed at ghosts. He wasn't laughing when his bulldozer moved by itself. He wasn't laughing when he saw the wet handprint on the driver's seat. He went home that night and locked every door. But locks don't stop the dead. When he turned on the shower, the water ran black, and written in steam on the mirror was a single word: confess. Leela studied the ledger. Numbers, names, secrets. She could feel her sister's presence guiding her hand. Every page she turned, the flame flickered. Every line she read, the river outside rippled harder. That night she dreamt of Marianne, dripping, pale, eyes hollow. And when she woke, she found muddy footprints leading from the door to her bed. Victor told no one about the whisper that followed him. In the mirrors, he saw her. In the fire, he saw her. And then one night, she stepped through the fire. Her voice was the tide pulling him under. "You built your empire on my grave." When the servants found him the next morning, He was sitting in his chair, eyes open, mouth full of river water. Carter thought he could escape. He drove through the night, headlights slicing the fog. But the fog followed. It filled the car. He couldn't see the road. And through the static, her humming began again. Soft, then louder, then screaming. When they found the car in the ditch, it was empty. Only a puddle of muddy water remained on the driver's seat. Gaines was the last. He returned to the site to destroy what remained of the old mill. But as the excavator's claw tore through the mud, something emerged. A shape, a face, a woman, her hair floating like in water. He screamed, the ground gave way, and the mud swallowed him whole. They called it an accident, but everyone in Hollow Fall knew. The river had claimed its debt. After the three were gone, the fog lifted. The town began to breathe again, but peace never came to Lila. Some nights, she'd hear footsteps in her hallway. Soft, wet, familiar. And a voice would whisper, "Thank you, but it's not over." Because revenge doesn't stop when the guilty die. It waits for the next secret, the next betrayal, the next whisper that needs to be silenced. And if you ever visit Hollow Fall, don't walk too close to the river. Don't hum at night. And if you smell lilies where there should be none, don't look back. Because the river always remembers